Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Nokutula Khune, and this is the space where I share all my experiences. So we don't yet have a category for this channel, but however I do share about my life, a little bit of there and there, about my life update, story time, and sometimes I will share about the products that I use on my hair, because I do grow my hair naturally. It has been over 5 years now growing my hair naturally. So basically zonke bonke ziyalunga. So if you are here for spiritual life, faith, Christianity, I am here. You will find me sometimes talking about my experiences. You'll find me sometimes talking about my hair. So zonke bonke zilapha. And so today I've been procrastinating to do this video. First of all, I didn't know what will be the title of this video, and secondly, like, it felt really unnecessary to share what I'm about to share. But I just keep having this feeling that maybe my experience might be helpful to another person, and maybe my experience, might open someone's eyes to see things differently in life. I don't know. Before we get into it, I'd like to welcome the new subscribers. Thank you very much, and thank you to the old subscribers for tuning in every time I upload a video. So yeah, I am having my coffee. Let's get straight to it. So I am Noktula, as I have said, and I was raised by my grandmother. I grew up here in Port Elizabeth. So I think I'll start by telling how I grew up and who I was while I was growing up until to the person that I am today, right? So I grew up with my older sister and my grandmother. So I must say that I come from a disadvantaged background. Like, we didn't have anyone that was employed at the house at that time, and we only depended on a social grant, Kamakhulu. So, girl, as I'm growing up, when I was doing grade 1, right? I think that's where I was so observant of how I am growing up, and so observant of everything that is around me. I was like, okay, Ekaya, we eat whatever I call you. We don't eat what we want to eat. Secondly, when we share our lunch boxes with my friends at school, I'm like, I don't have eggs like my friends. I don't have, fancy lunch boxes like them. And I was like, I was so frustrated, and I was also angry, like, why tonight can't we have these things? Why, like, in this little and I really didn't understand it, and I was so angry. So I think that's where I started comparing myself with other kids. I remember one day, my other friend, my primary friend, I carried a steamed bread, and and she was like, Simbi songa sako. And as bubbly I had a low self-esteem, but at the same time I didn't want my friends to see that I'm actually troubled by the fact that they have a fancy life. On my perception at that time, that they have a fancy life and I have this life. So I told my grandmother that, hey, Azubani said that, yeah, I see this song, and my grandma was like, me being a young Noktula, go back to that friend, say right, it's this song. So right, I think that judgment of seeing other family being perfect and seeing my family not being perfect simply because we don't have fancy stuff clouded my side of seeing the atmosphere and the environment that I'm being raised into, right? So I had so many insecurities. I had to compromise, the rules and the rules, the rules that I was raised up to, because I wanted to fit in, because it didn't make sense why we are poor. It didn't make sense why I can't have the hairstyle that I want. It didn't make sense why I can't go to saloon. It didn't make sense, like, why I could not go to school outings, because my grand will always say that, "Look, Tula, asina mali, you awufana nabanye abantwana." I was so frustrated at that. And on the other side, you know how naughty school kids are. So I was being teased at school, and yayingancedisi nje basically. So I had I had a battle of accepting, Oba, you come from this family, and in the midst of trying to accept that, I had to deal with being bullied at school, and those negative things, they really clouded me to see the positive things that were going on around in my life. Some of the positive things that they were there in my life, I had the best friends ever. I had the best friends ever that anyone could ask for. My friends were forever defensive when it comes to me. Andikhumbuli ndibethwa esikolweni. I never got into a fight at school. Oh, I had once, but I never became that kid or ebethwa because of bullies and because of dinyabile. No, like, I had friends who were like, you touch her, you have to deal with me first. So that thing of being raised into this disadvantaged background made me to be blind to see things that are beautiful in my life. There's always beauty within, I promise you. So I never acknowledged that, because to think of it right now, I had the best friends. Like in primary, I had the best friends who would sympathize with me, but me still having that picture at the back of my mind, but suppose that I am born into a family where there is a mother and a father, and suppose that's nemali apha ekhaya, and azenzeki izinto, and I'm so furious about utheni, and I am trying ngoba other kids should accept me, and in order for them to accept me, funeka ndingaspeed, yabo, funeke ndivume whatever they want me to do, let me do it. Okanye whatever, to be accommodated by them. Let me compromise myself. Manbe ngulo ngathi uyacenga, I remember there was this one guy, he was my bully. Like, this guy would say that I am ugly. This guy would make fun of my hair, which was my curly hair. He would say that my hair is ugly. He would even try to beat me. But my friends will always step in, because, I had amazing friends. So that thing, I had to fight it. When I get at home, when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, okay, I hate this skin. I hate this. I hate this color. I hate this house. I hate poverty. I hate the fact that I am born here. Why I was not born like any other kids, right? And back at home, we totally depend on the social grant, right? So I never saw the beauty of being raised by a woman that has a sharing heart. All of those things now are really coming back now and are making sense. You know what? I'm actually proud of the fact that I was raised by my grandmother. I grew up in a disadvantaged background. They only make sense now. So one of the things that was beautiful about my home, my grandmother created this atmosphere, this warm home that every time I come back from school, I had something to eat. But I had something to eat. Secondly, my grandmother shared everything that she had. She didn't say because we have this last cup of rice, we can't share it with someone else. My gran would actually share the last thing that we had, just because the other person came and say, you know what, can you give us rice because asinayo rice. Umakhulu would not say hayi ngiyogqibela le. Umakhulu would share it with other person. And secondly, other thing that I've learned is that umakhulu, every time umntu engena, laa mntu must have something. Laa mntu must have. And when I say they must have something, I'm not talking about a cup of tea. A cup of tea, kumakhulu is this that has how are you doing? Hey. But meanwhile, ikhona into esembizeni, you should dish for that person. And if ever that person uze mhlambi singaphekanga okanye kungekho into, my gran would cook for that person. Sebajonga hlala phansi, I'll cook for you. Umakhulu will cook for that person. That is the beauty, that we do not share because we have plenty, right? But we share because we have a giving heart. Those are the things that that is the atmosphere that I was raised in. But my judgment was clouded by the fact that it was not fancy. That we did not have a fancy house, we did not have ukutya like posh, but that was my focus. That is the perfection that I had in mind. And I remember how I used to watch Oyo TV and I wanted to be the presenter, and I was like, the other poor girl in me, I have these personalities that I named, that the poor girl in me was like, girl, how on earth are you going to become the TV presenter? Because when you come from this home, and from this home there is no way kungapuma a presenter, right? But there was this girl in me that had principles, like, by Jonga girl, you're gonna make it in life. You were born for great things. You are capable of doing whatever you set your mind on it. And there's this other girl in me, othi kakwenza izinto ezenziwa ngabanye abantwana, try to fit in. And in the process of trying to fit in, I had to compromise the principles that I had. The dreamer girl in me I had to compromise those things because kaloku wants to fit into other kids. And luckily for me, when I was 12 years old, I was exposed to salvation, and I think that was the plan of God. I got to accept Jesus Christ when I was 12, and I think being the salvation being revealed to me, that was the plan of God about my life. But in between the years, I had to deal with the childhood traumas that I had. And before I could get into dealing with the childhood traumas, I had to think, Ogokba, the world owes me something. And I had to justify, like, everything happens, but I can look, self-pity, something that I totally hate right now. And even if I see a hint of it, I address it. I deal with it because I hate self-pity. So one of the things that I want to say is that the world does not revolve around you. The world does not owe you a thing. Whether you come from a rich family, whether you come from a disadvantaged background, the world does not owe you a thing. And this is also what I have observed, or I have discovered in this journey of life, is that whether you come from a rich family or not, how your life turns out to be actually depends on you. It depends on you. The only obstacle that can stand in your way, the only obstacle that can stand in your way of chasing your dreams is only you. You can't say because I didn't have so many opportunities like let's still work around with what you have. To come to think of it, the creativity that I have with my hands came from that room that I came back to every time I was being bullied, from that mirror that I used to look at and say, you are girl, you are ugly, look at your hair, look at your skin, look at your skin color. But I would cry out, and I would start using my hands. I would create something out of nothing, and that creativity, look where it has placed me. Today I'm a businesswoman. Today I'm in business. Today I'm able to have an income because of creativity. And I'm thinking, if my grandmother was not strict the way she was to me, maybe I would not even know that I'm that creative. But I became creative because my grandmother would say, when you come back to school, you do your house chores, you do your homework, you go and sleep. I would sleep up and for 3 hours every day when I come from school. There is no time to play with friends. I was never allowed to go on streets. And sometimes when I just finished my homeworks and I don't want to sleep, I would write. I would find something to do. Creativity was born into that room. So all things work together for those who trust in him. Konke kuyalungelelana for those who trust in him. And I think that's the message that I want to pass out, that the world does not owe you a thing, and that you are your own obstacle, and you should stick to who you are. You should stick to who you are, even if you are different from the rest of the world. You don't have to be like the rest of the world. You have to be you. You have to be you. You don't have to compromise yourself just to fit in. If you don't fit in, you don't. There is nothing wrong in being different. And I think that's what of the most of our girls are facing. Like, they want to fit in, they want to have friends, they want to do what their friends do. If they don't do what their friends do, they feel like, okay, I am old-fashioned or something like that. You don't have to. You don't have to fit in. People who want to be in your life, they will be in it. They will accept you for who you are. And don't let poverty to cloud you. Don't let how you grew up limit your boundaries. I have broken boundaries, and I'm still breaking some if I don't see them. If I see them, I make sure I deal with those things. I hate poverty, but to be born in poverty, that is not my fault. But to die in poverty, that is actually my fault. That is totally dependent. I can't say that. Look, indlala into yalapha endlini. Tina sikhule silamba azange kwabakho xutha apha thina. This is how we've been rolling. I refuse to roll in poverty. I refuse. So I am dealing with my childhood traumas because they have affected the way I see things, the way the relationship I have with people. And one thing that has been consistent in my life, and I thank God for it, it's the circle that I have. When it comes to friends, God, one of the best friends in life. Like, nobody loves me like Ichomizam and Inazo. And I am forever grateful. like kuzo zonke stages in my life, like starting from primary to high school to tertiary, even now I am blessed with people that believe in me, people that say, you know, no Nokuthula, you can actually do better than this. And I am forever grateful. Yo guys, I didn't think that this video will turn out to be like this. So what I'm trying to say is here that don't let your disadvantaged background to cloud your judgment on how you see things. You can be anything that you want to be. Hey, man is back. Sorry about that. It's within you. Whom you want to be is within you, and you are your own obstacle. I really hope you did enjoy this video and you'll find a thing or two, you know, that will help you to see things differently. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you on the next video.